just made a bold move that's making waves across Asia. In a deal announced this week, Manila confirmed it will purchase 6 advanced patrol warships from Japan, a move aimed at modernizing its naval fleet amid rising tensions in the West Philippine Sea.
The exercise to upgrade the weapon systems of all our existing vessels is a continuing exercise. So it's a balance. It's a resource management balance between acquiring new and maintaining and repurposing the old and the ordered vessels to come.
These new multi-role response ships, to be built by Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, are part of a 24.3 billion Filipino pesos, 64.38 billion Japanese yen loan package, making it one of the most significant maritime defense investments in the country's recent history. For the Philippines, this isn't just a fleet upgrade, it's a signal we're ready to defend our waters. This deal is a big win for both the Philippines and Japan, and a direct challenge to China's growing aggression in the region. Japan, a rising player in Indo-Pacific defense strategy, is stepping in not just as a seller, but as a strategic ally. The partnership comes at a time when Chinese ships have become increasingly aggressive, with over 400 maritime incidents involving Chinese vessels reported by the Philippines just in the past year. From laser targeting to ramming incidents and water cannon attacks, Beijing has ramped up its harassment in contested areas like the Second Thomas Shoal, testing Manila's patience and resolve. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. didn't mince words. In a sharp rebuke clearly aimed at China, he said, "No country should bully another into silence or submission."
Since the threat has grown, we must do more to defend our territory. The last thing anyone would like is for conflict to arise. This is not poking the bear, as it were. We are trying to do quite the opposite.
The message is clear. The Philippines is done playing defense. With Japan's warships on the way and U.S. military cooperation deepening, Manila is anchoring itself in a broader Indo-Pacific alliance. These warships are expected to significantly improve the country's surveillance, maritime response, and defense operations, especially in waters where Chinese incursions are becoming routine. Predictably, China isn't happy. The Chinese Foreign Ministry quickly slammed the deal as a provocative act that could destabilize regional peace. But unlike before, these warnings are falling on deaf ears. Japan stood firm, stating the cooperation is for peace and stability in the region. In reality, China's pressure tactics, once effective in isolating smaller nations, are losing their sting. The Philippines, backed by stronger allies and public support, is refusing to be intimidated. Zooming out, this deal is a major sign of shifting power dynamics in Asia. It reflects a growing trend. Smaller countries like the Philippines are now forming tighter security bonds with like-minded democracies, pushing back against China's expansive territorial claims. Japan has already pledged over $2 billion in defense and maritime aid to Southeast Asia since 2023, signaling a long-term strategy to counterbalance Beijing's dominance in the South China Sea. This warship deal isn't just about ships, it's about sovereignty, strategy, and standing up to intimidation. The Philippines is drawing a line in the water, and with Japan on board, it's sending a powerful message: we won't be bullied, we'll be ready. The Indo-Pacific is changing, and this deal is just the beginning.
The promotion of a free and open Indo-Pacific, a free and open South China Sea and East Sea, in accordance with generally accepted principles of international law, is a shared initiative.
The Philippines has long faced a critical challenge: an outdated naval fleet struggling to keep up with the growing threats in its own backyard. Most of its vessels are aging, some dating back to World War II, making them ill-equipped to patrol the sprawling maritime zones it claims, especially in the West Philippine Sea, where foreign ships, particularly from China, have become a constant presence. With limited radar coverage, slow response times, and a lack of high-end platforms, Manila's need for modern, agile, and heavily equipped patrol ships isn't just a defense upgrade, it's a national security imperative. This is why the new partnership with Japan is so important. Japan, once bound by a strictly pacifist defense policy, has been steadily evolving. In recent years, Tokyo has taken a more proactive role in regional security, driven by the rise of authoritarian assertiveness in Asia. It's now promoting a free and open Indo-Pacific, FOIP, a vision where international law, open sea lanes, and sovereign rights are respected. As part of that, Japan is stepping into the arena as not just an ally, but a top-tier supplier of defense equipment and training, especially to Southeast Asian nations facing pressure from China. Zoom out, and the bigger picture is clear. The South China Sea has become one of the world's most tense flashpoints. Multiple countries claim overlapping territories, but China has pushed furthest, constructing artificial islands, building military outposts, and increasingly using its coast guard and maritime militia to enforce its claims. The Philippines, in particular, has borne the brunt of this pressure with regular standoffs, blocked supply missions, and aggressive tactics by Chinese vessels. As militarization in the region grows, so does the importance of alliances and defense partnerships. The Philippines-Japan deal isn't just about 6 ships. It's about building strategic resilience. It's about smaller nations standing together to protect their maritime rights and signal that no single power can dominate the Indo-Pacific unchecked. The Philippines has taken a bold step in its defense modernization journey by signing a major warship acquisition deal with Japan, its strongest yet. Under this agreement, 6 advanced multi-role response vessels, MRRVs, will be built by Mitsubishi Heavy Industries and delivered to the Philippine Coast Guard. These aren't just routine patrol boats. They're larger, faster, and equipped with modern radar, surveillance, and communication systems, designed to boost coastal defense, enforce maritime law, and enhance humanitarian and disaster response across Philippine waters. These ships are modeled after the 97-meter class vessels previously provided by Japan, but this new batch will likely feature upgrades in range, speed, and onboard tech. The primary goal? To give the Philippines a sharper edge in securing its vast and vulnerable maritime zones, especially in the West Philippine Sea, where Chinese incursions have become a daily concern. With a significantly more capable fleet, the country aims to strengthen maritime patrols, guard its exclusive economic zone, respond faster to incidents at sea, and assert its sovereignty with greater confidence. But these ships aren't just built for conflict. They also play a crucial role in search and rescue operations, disaster response, and environmental protection, which is vital for an archipelago exposed to typhoons and climate risks. Financially, the deal is backed by a 64.38 billion yen loan from Japan under favorable terms, signaling not just a commercial transaction, but strategic cooperation. Japan's Official Development Assistance, ODA framework, ensures long-term support, and the Philippine government has already earmarked budget allocations to cover local contributions and logistics. Strategically, the benefits for the Philippines are massive. First, the acquisition significantly boosts naval capacity and deterrence, giving the country more leverage in protecting its maritime claims. Second, it allows the Philippines to monitor and respond to maritime incidents more effectively, particularly in contested areas like the Second Thomas Shoal. Third, it opens the door to stronger regional interoperability, allowing Philippine forces to work more seamlessly with allies like Japan, the US, and Australia in joint exercises and patrols.
The whole activity was very successful, and everyone from the US, Japan, and also the Philippines is very happy on the outcome of this activity. Yun naman yung pinaka-essence talaga is that we have a mutual cooperation, mutual trust with each other in doing these kinds of things so that in the actual event na magkaroon talaga nito.
On Japan's end, the deal also delivers big wins. It deepens security ties with a key Southeast Asian partner, reinforcing its free and open Indo-Pacific vision. It also marks another milestone in Tokyo's evolving defense strategy, one that includes expanding defense industry exports and providing security assistance to countries facing pressure from China. Most importantly, it positions Japan as a stabilizing force in the region, helping counterbalance China's growing influence while strengthening collective security through partnerships rather than confrontation. In short, this deal isn't just about ships. It's about strategy, sovereignty, and shifting power in the Indo-Pacific. With Japan and the Philippines stepping closer together, the message to the region is clear. Cooperation is rising, and so is the resistance to coercion. China didn't stay silent when the Philippines and Japan inked their landmark Warship deal, but its protest fell flat. Beijing's strong opposition was expected. From its point of view, this kind of defense cooperation directly threatens its long-standing and widely disputed territorial claims in the South China Sea. With Manila enhancing its maritime capability and Tokyo stepping into a more active regional defense role, China sees a growing coalition forming against its dominance. The concern isn't just about 6 ships, it's about what they represent: a stronger, more coordinated resistance to China's pressure tactics. As the deal went public, China responded with the usual toolkit of diplomatic condemnations, formal protests, and warnings. Statements flowed from the Chinese Foreign Ministry, warning of potential regional instability and accusing both the Philippines and Japan of provocation. Behind closed doors, diplomatic channels were likely buzzing with disapproval. While no direct economic threats have been confirmed, China has a history of applying economic pressure like delaying trade permits or freezing infrastructure talks as a form of coercion. But so far, there's no clear sign that this tactic is working. Why did the protest fail? First, the Philippines showed remarkable resolve. Despite Beijing's warnings, Manila stood firm, insisting the deal serves national interest and maritime security, not provocation. Philippine officials emphasized their sovereign right to modernize and defend their territory, especially in the face of repeated harassment in the West Philippine Sea.
Nonetheless, the strategic basing initiative is hopefully going to break ground soon, because we cannot afford to wait anymore for any other vessels to come without home.
Second, Japan didn't back down either. Tokyo reaffirmed its commitment to helping regional partners build capacity under its free and open Indo-Pacific vision, brushing off China's attempts to dictate regional dynamics. Then there's international law. Both Japan and the Philippines are operating within the framework of global norms, particularly the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS. Unlike China's sweeping, unrecognized claims marked by the so-called 9-dash line, this deal is grounded in lawful defense cooperation. This gives Manila and Tokyo the moral high ground, and it's gaining support from other democracies wary of China's growing assertiveness. Most importantly, this episode underscores a larger shift in the region. Countries that once treaded carefully around China's anger are now pushing back. The Philippines-Japan deal is just one example of a broader trend of regional alignment, with nations strengthening alliances, modernizing militaries, and standing together in the face of coercion.
To further successes in the strategic partnership between our maritime and Indo-Pacific democracies, and to the enduring friendship of our two peoples and harmony between the Philippines and Japan. Mabuhay and kampai.
China's usual tactics, intimidation, diplomacy, and economic pressure are starting to lose their edge. The implications are serious. China's failed protest reveals the limits of its diplomatic power, especially when confronted by unified, determined partners. It also signals a new phase of Indo-Pacific geopolitics, where alliances are deepening specifically to balance China's influence. But this failure might not go unanswered. Expect Beijing to explore other means, possibly ramping up patrols, deploying Coast Guard ships, or testing boundaries more aggressively in contested waters. The region is entering a more complex, high-stakes era, and this warship deal may have just redrawn the lines. The ripple effects of the Philippines-Japan warship deal go far beyond 6 vessels. It's a strategic turning point for regional security in the Indo-Pacific. With these new ships, the Philippines will significantly expand its naval presence in the South China Sea, allowing more consistent patrols, faster response to maritime incidents, and increased visibility in contested waters. That alone is a game changer. But coupled with the potential for joint patrols and military exercises, particularly with Japan, the US, and Australia, the deal lays the groundwork for a stronger, more integrated regional security network. For the Philippines and Japan, this marks a new high in their bilateral relationship. What began as economic aid and Coast Guard training has evolved into full-blown security cooperation. The two countries are now deeply aligned, not just on defense, but also on economic resilience and regional stability. And this could just be the beginning. Future collaborations might include joint weapons development, expanded arms transfers, and intelligence sharing. Both nations clearly see each other as long-term partners in navigating the increasingly volatile waters of the Indo-Pacific. Of course, China won't simply stand aside. It's likely to continue with diplomatic protests, aggressive maritime maneuvers, and information campaigns aimed at undermining new alliances. But beyond rhetoric, China is also doubling down on its internal military buildup, investing heavily in its Navy and Coast Guard, and building out strategic footholds in contested zones. It may also seek to divide ASEAN or pressure individual countries to avoid joining similar defense agreements, though that strategy is wearing thin. The bigger picture? This deal is already inspiring other Southeast Asian countries to rethink their own defense strategies. Nations like Vietnam, Indonesia, and Malaysia, each with territorial concerns of their own, are watching closely. The Philippines-Japan Pact could serve as a template for future deals that link ASEAN states more closely with regional powers like Japan, South Korea, and even India. It sends a message: smaller nations don't have to face regional giants alone. Alliances matter, and collective defense is the future. In the long run, this move strengthens the wider, free and open Indo-Pacific strategy, a vision anchored in rule of law, open sea lanes, and resistance to coercion. As more countries align on these shared principles, the strategic balance in Asia is shifting. It's no longer just about competing claims. It's about creating a stable, secure region where no single power calls all the shots. This Warship deal may have started as a procurement contract, but its true impact is much deeper. It's reshaping the very structure of Indo-Pacific geopolitics. The Philippines-Japan Warship deal stands as a bold move in defiance of China's objections, a clear signal that smaller nations are no longer willing to back down when it comes to defending their sovereignty. It marks a major leap in the Philippines' naval modernization journey and showcases Japan's growing role as a regional security partner. More than just a military transaction, this deal reflects a fast-evolving Indo-Pacific where alliances matter more than ever. As geopolitical tensions rise, the pact sets a powerful precedent. Cooperation, not isolation, is the key to navigating the stormy waters ahead. Expect more nations in the region to follow suit, forging deeper partnerships to secure their maritime interests and keep the Indo-Pacific free, open, and balanced. Thank you for tuning into our channel. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analysis of global issues.